Oops. That was fast on accident. Starting to speed up on accident. I'm losing it. Well, I might as well lecture a little bit. One of the things I told my students is that cursive is now part of visual and performing arts, since it's not a writing standard. And you may teach it as an auxiliary program. I call it art. And art is anything that brings about an emotional response, whether it be a revile, whether they're disgusted, whether they're happy, whether they're sad, whether they love your work or whether they hate it, it's irrelevant. Art is an emotional response. But then, later on, I also realized the second purpose of art, or a second theme of art, is to create cognitive dissonance. And cognitive dissonance is when you make somebody think differently or see something from a new perspective. And so the whole point of going slow is because we live in a very fast-paced world. And sometimes we need to be reminded that life can only be appreciated if we slow down a little bit. But since we're humans, and humans are very extreme in personality and the way we do things, the only way to truly appreciate slow is to go super slow, excessively slow. And then you say, oh, that's where the beauty is. I also told them if you want to be good at producing anything, you have to be unique. You can't just do what everybody else is doing. So be creative and be innovative. Come up with something new. If you're going to post on YouTube, don't just be like everyone else. You could take another person's idea, but you have to combine it with your own so that you can do something new. It becomes a creation and an innovation of a prior thought, because there really isn't anything new in this world. But rearrangements of previous ideas or previous thoughts. As long as you give credit where credit is due and know what your source is, then that's acceptable. lot of new knowledge comes from leapfrogging ideas off of each other and collaborating anyway. I'm almost there. If you finish early, you could also finish reading your Frindle book. You have time for that, so make that happen, and you can't blame me for giving homework on the weekend. I actually gave you time in class to read it, so it's not on me. Be on your job. Part of me is wondering if this video is just going to cut off, because this is a long video. And I hope it doesn't just cut it off right now. Or I don't run out of memory on my phone. You know, I have a really great group of kids this year. You see how quiet they are, how well behaved? If they were crazy or nutty or unable to manage themselves, I wouldn't be doing this right now. I'd have to be monitoring their every move. But they know how to manage themselves. I'm just coaching them. We've hit the 50-minute point, by the way. How much more time is there to our 20-minute session? 10 seconds. Raise your hand if you think you'll need more time. Okay, add 10 minutes. Raise your hand if 10 minutes is too long to add. Well, you guys need that much time? Shouldn't be that difficult. But make sure you do a good job, because I was kind of surprised. We've worked so much on reading comprehension. I expect you guys to do a lot better last week, and it was kind of so-so. So let's make sure we do a really great job. funny. One year I did this trick of mnemonics with my students where I told the kids I'm going to kick a garbage can. I got that from my high school teacher. He told me, you're not going to remember anything about your year in high school except for this one moment. And then he kicked the garbage can across the room. And I still remembered it to this day, that moment that he kicked the garbage can across the room. I also remember when my math teacher wore a wolf mask and didn't talk all day long one Halloween. That was awesome, because those are the moments that we remember the most. So how is that relevant to what I'm doing right now? Because probably they'll forget every single thing they learned from me except for that day when my teacher wrote his YouTube channel name for 1 whole hour. And this is, in a sense, giving credit to that high school teacher that kicked the garbage can across the room. Because when I became a teacher myself, I decided I was going to try to kick a garbage can every single day, metaphorically. And if I could do that, then the kids would remember their time in our class and it would be more meaningful. So those that see this video may perceive this to be a waste of time. But my argument